So Joe and I work in similar fields, and we really became friends and partners on this project because we've had a core belief about how development should be done in urban neighborhoods, and met at Coffee Emporium for the first time and chatted about it. And then the second time we met, he was in town. We met in Over the Rhine, and he said, let's stop at a couple bars and have a couple beers, but let's make our way towards this new thing that's happening in Over the Rhine called People's Liberty. And so we made it up here, and we were down in the corner space, and it wasn't built out at all. It was no air conditioning, and we kind of left that thinking like, well, maybe if this idea continues to permeate, it could become a grant project.
Thereafter, we took a trip down to Dallas, and we saw something happening in some of Dallas's older neighborhoods that bore some likeness to the types of neighborhoods that you would find in Cincinnati. But they were doing things a little differently there. They weren't spending a lot of time generating big plans or waiting around for big, shiny, silver projects. Instead, they were focusing really hard on getting people to the neighborhood first, and then using that energy and that real kind of proof in the pudding as a way to leverage development. And it was at that time that the People's Liberty Grant period was open, and we met Eric and just kind of bounced ideas with him, and that kind of launched us toward where we're at today. I mean, we're simultaneously a really weird project for this grant because we don't have an event or an object out in the urban landscape that you can point to directly.
It's a book.
It's a book.
It's called the Neighborhood Playbook, and it has 5 plays. So if you open the book, depending on who you are, you open it from either side and you go through the 5 plays. Play 1 is pick a space, play 2 is pick an amenity, play 3 is broadcast, play 4 is evaluate, and play 5 is develop. And those plays get you from really a place where you're sitting on your couch wondering how you can solve a problem in your neighborhood to the point where the problem is solved. And if you read it through as a community member, when you get to the end, you see a little window that you can peer through, and it encourages you to flip the book over and read it from the developer's point of view. And the same is true of the opposite. If you're the developer, it encourages you to flip over and say, how would a community member approach this, and how can that help me understand how I should approach it? And one of the questions we pose is how can development happen with a place instead of to a place? And I think that's one of the keys as well, is to get neighborhood residents to understand that they can not only get involved and spur development in their neighborhood, but they can control what that outcome is, and it can be reflective of who they are, as opposed to development just coming in and happening to them.